All right, guys, welcome to the Screen Printing Newbie channel. Just a brief introduction about myself. 25 plus years in the business as far as a actual shop owner. Um, Started out just like kind of everybody else, a little mom and pop shop, and honestly, kind of stayed that way my entire time. Kind of small to mid-sized shop. Shop located in, or my market's always been kind of the small town Texas market. Stayed in the business, like I said, 20 plus years. Got out of it due to some health reasons. At the time, my daughter's 19. Decided a couple years after we got out of the business, as far as the actual production side of things, she decided to open or go into the old family business. So at 19, she literally went into business for herself, changed the name and all that. So that way there was no really connection, or she wanted to kind of do it on her own. So, that way there was not necessarily a connection to us or people were coming to her. She wanted to kind of, make her own mark in the screen printing world. She did keep our one of our characters, our logo, our mascot, if you will. But I have to say, being that proud dad moment, from the age of 19, I believe she's been in business going on a little over 3 years. Her first year, she went from a roughly 1,200 square foot building. Within almost a year to the date of her opening, she doubled in size. Went to a 2,400 square to 26, 2,800, somewhere in there, square foot building. During that time period, opens a second location in another small town. Same thing there. Opens up almost a year to date, and the reason I know it's a year to date was because she had a year lease. So literally opened up the second location within a year, or right at a year. That location doubled. Went from being a sales office to the market demanded production being done out of that site. So, we did some really creative marketing. We did, she literally grew up in the business. I mean, when she was born, we were in the screen printing business. So, kind of every day of her life, she had uh, some connection to the screen printing business. So, but through some really creative marketing, one thing that I've always kind of talked to her about, one of the big plus, now is social media. There's not necessarily, depending on the size shop, your comfort zone, and all that. There's not necessarily that need for a huge marketing budget. You can start out with literally zero to very few dollars in the marketing world, compared to the days of, like when I was in the business years ago. I know at one point we probably had a marketing budget that probably tapped right around the $2,000 a month range. Now, we were not your typical commercial printer that, we printed, we had retail places on all our stores. All our shops had a retail front. So we kind of printed private line. We printed, being that we were in small town, we printed spirit shirts, stuff like that for the local high schools, or the local districts and all that stuff, school districts and everything. So, we spent a little bit more money advertising it. We of course depended on word of mouth, but back then, you definitely had to do the paper. You definitely did some radio. You definitely did. We even did television commercials at one time. Nowadays, you can literally get your word out there. You can literally get everything out there almost at no cost, or basically at no cost. With the various social media circuits out there, you can definitely get in that little network of things. And, like I said, she's pretty much done that. We've come up with some different creative ways to do some marketing that really worked, got us a lot of likes and hits and all that good stuff on, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that, those type of things. And we've parlayed it into a pretty good little business, for her, I should say. From her startup cost, it's kind of almost a little experimental, especially with the second shop. We went into it with very little money up front, just to see if we could do some creative things, kind of bang our head on the wall, so to speak, and make it, successful, make it work. And that's honestly what occurred. started out very minimal, money put into it, and had so far I've had some really good return on those, initial investments. Something with this YouTube channel, with our Facebook page, it's under the same name, Screen Printing Newbies. We hope to kind of hit those same things, give you a few of the little tips and trades that we've done, answer questions. And that's one thing I do tell you on this page or on this channel. Be sure and hit us up with some questions. That way we can come up with some contents that's going to match to what your needs are. Besides the channel, besides the Facebook page, we also do private consulting. We also, work with you on that level. Prices and all that stuff are kind of as depend on the need. I guarantee we're probably one of the cheapest around. If you ever just want some, private one-on-one consulting, there's different levels of, what we can and can or will do, I guess you would say, as far as timelines and all that stuff. So just kind of putting that out there. One of the things I've had people ask me how come I'm kind of doing this and doing it for free, basically giving some trade secrets out there, so to speak, or helping you. I've banged my head against the wall, and so this is kind of working out where you don't have to do that. We've kind of I can tell you from my experiences, I guess is the way to put it. I'll have my daughter on from time to time, and she can kind of tell you from a new person's, somebody that's been in the business 3 or 4 years, she can kind of tell you some of the stuff that she's done to make things successful. And together we can kind of tell you stuff that, there are things that we differ on. There's different chemicals or different brands, and you'll find out a lot of that becomes preference, what you prefer. It's kind of the old Chevy, Dodge, Ford, the old car thing, so to speak, for all my car guys out there. Some of you guys are Chevy and ain't going to touch a Ford. Some of y'all are, vice versa, all that good stuff. So it kind of comes that way. What we can do is tell you from our own experiences what's worked for us, what, our market, what our comfort zone is, various things like that. We can tell you from our perspective. Now, me personally, I have gone to, a couple of little screen printing schools and stuff of that nature. So I've kind of have a little bit of that book knowledge, so to speak, on screen printing, as well as, or mainly, just experience knowledge, hitting the trade shows, printing what out of my shop, but also hitting trade shows, asking questions, educating myself and all that. So we hope with this channel, and like I said, with the Facebook page, to help you get started from taking it from an idea, the concept, helping you come up with, your logo, your name if needed, all the way to actually printing, getting your customers and marketing your business out there. Hopefully this channel, hopefully our page will kind of help you do that. And hopefully, like I said, if you've run into some one-on-one stuff or some stuff where you need somebody to really kind of be there in your corner, definitely give us a shout, and we'll definitely, try to help you out the best that we can. We'll make recommendations on some of the vendors out there. Like I say, there again, the recommendations we make are going to be just strictly off, our experiences. There are vendors that we use that are strictly Texas vendors. They're not the chain vendors or whatever that have multiple locations. We have one that we love to use. Some of the people that work there have been screen printers from, if I remember, I don't know what the ratio is now, their employees that were actual screen printers and stuff, but they have the knowledge. The cool thing is I've been able to call and ask various things. My daughter's been able to call and ask various things. What's a recommendation for, this ink on this material or this additive or whatever. The one cool thing about our market or our industry is that things tend to change pretty quick. The trends as far as clothing tend to change, shirts, what I can remember at one point where you could not sell a neon colored shirt, 20 years ago. Everything was white and ash gray. Now or here a few years back, of course, everything was neon. Now you got the tri-blend shirts. For a long time, it was strictly cotton. Then it was the 50-50, that 50-50 blend. So it's funny how our industry changes constantly, and you really have to stay educated. You really have to stay up on things. So I'm going to kind of keep this particular post or this particular video. I'll keep it kind of short. please talk, share it, let people know about this site, about this channel. And because the more people we can get to this channel, the more people that may ask questions that you did not think to ask, did not know to ask. Uh, they may honestly, you forgot to write it down, and somebody else may ask a question that is educational to you. So the more people we can get on board, the better. The other cool thing about this and what's happening with our Facebook page is it's turning into be a really cool network of new people. So everybody's able to kind of share their information, their troubleshooting stuff. I know we have on our Facebook page we have a big selection of people, a big variety of people, I guess, over the United States. I think we even have a few international people on there. But it's been kind of neat talking, like around different areas tend to be what I call process printing shops that depend more on their market leans a little bit more to process printing. Our market tends to lean a little bit towards the what I call the spirit shirts, the just four color stuff or the multicolor stuff that's just blunt printing, so to speak, like a little league print or it's not that photorealism type stuff. So every market's a little bit different. And I will tell you up front, if I do not know, I'm not going to sit here and try to be a authority on everything about this business because I'm not. I can tell you what's worked for me, uh, where I've gone right and things that have kind of gone wrong or things that were iffy. I will share that information with you. The cool thing about it is, if I don't know it, I will definitely research it. I will definitely try to help you find that information out. And, may not be on that particular episode, so to speak, but we'll work together and try to get that. The cool thing is, if we get a good network going, there might be somebody that's already asked that question or already found out that question somewhere else, so they can kind of help out as well. To me, this is about building us a newbie, so to speak, community of screen printers. I know at some point, we will get some experienced people on there. I've got some friends that I want to invite on here as well that can give you suggestions. I've got one really good friend, Jason Freeland, that's real good about building equipment or taking used equipment, finding used equipment, and restoring it, remanufacture, whatever he's got to do to get it up and running again. I'll get we can kind of pick his brain a little bit, so people, because it's not always about going out and buying brand new equipment. Sometimes you can find really good deals, especially with everything kind of going on right now. Unfortunately, there are shops that are closing down. There are shops that are selling extra equipment or having to downgrade, downgrade some. And so there are deals out there right now, and that might be a little bit better, bang for your buck, so to speak. It may help you, financially, where that may give you a few dollars to spend on something a little bit different, or a few dollars to keep, hold in the bank to kind of help things along. But anyway, again, like I said, this video is more to kind of introduce myself, introduce the channel a little bit, and like I said, hopefully we can get this to grow really good. On Tuesdays, while I'm thinking about it, Facebook on Tuesday nights, we've been doing on the screen printing newbie page, which it has the same logo that this channel has, the three squeegees. Look for it on Facebook. But on Tuesday nights, we do a live Q&A. And it varies. We've had some Tuesdays where we have, a lot of people and it's kind of hard to get questions in. And we have some that, it's wide open. I will suggest, if you do have a question, I usually try to post kind of where we're headed with, that next Q&A. Some of them are a little bit more marketing based. Some of them are product based. Some of them are production based. But I will usually put something up about that Q&A that's coming up. I would suggest, if you have a question, to put it up on one of those posts. And that way we can, make sure to address it during the Q&A live. In case, one, you forget, so you can go back and look at it, or two, you just can't get the question in. It's been really neat on some of them because one person may ask a question that honestly goes several different directions and might take 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to answer. And because it was kind of like one question will, just one answer leads to another, to another, to another, basically. And so all of a sudden you have no questions coming in because you have people that are taking notes because it just happens to be that particular question that gets a lot of information out there. So I encourage you, like I said, to tell people about this. Be sure and subscribe so that way you can tell when we put up new videos or when we do live, because we will do live stuff here on YouTube. So be sure and subscribe. Be sure to let people know it. Share it in the different groups or with screen printers that or people that work for you. That's another good thing. I have had people that have a business that have 2 or 3 of their people come on, and they might remember something that happened a week or two ago. They meant to ask a question, and their employee or their partner or whatever threw it out there. So, like I said, it's all about building a community of us printers. It's all about building a community of the new printers. Whether you're new to the business, whether you're just thinking about getting into the business, whether you've been in it 3 or 4 years, we want to make it work for everybody. We want to get as much information out there to everybody. There again, like I said earlier, I'm not even going to pretend that I know everything about this business. I definitely don't. I can tell you, there again, what's worked for us, what's worked for our market. I can touch base with you on a lot of the other stuff where, just educated myself, so to speak. And I have friends that are in this industry that do various types of printing that, we can even get them on and get them involved. I don't do a lot of water-based printing, to be honest with you. And, not that we haven't done it, but my market does not, ask for a lot of water-based stuff. But I do have a couple of guys that I would consider experts or know a lot about it that we can either get them on board or I can even consult with them to get some answers, if needed, if I don't know it or if I'm kind of questioning what I'm putting out there. So, well, with that being said, thanks for watching this. Again, get some people involved in it. I look forward to some questions being thrown out there. Be sure to check us out on Facebook under screenprintingnewbie.com, or I'm sorry, Screen Printing Newbie. I'm so used to the .com thing. Screen Printing Newbie on Facebook. It'll have the same logo this thing has. Be sure and get on that. Be sure and check out all the live stuff. Ask questions. That's the only way you're going to learn. One thing I always say, man, print. I don't care how new you are. If you got equipment, if you got screens, if you got, inks and all that, find some old shirts and just keep printing. Learn that touch because the more experience, the more you understand the touch and the feel and what the different pressures of the squeegee, the different angles and stuff, the more you'll understand printing. So there again, thanks a lot for checking this out, and hopefully we'll see you again.